Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they've convinced themselves it's not possible, so they never really try. But what if that belief is the only thing holding you back? It's about what actually happens when you act as if your goals are possible, even if you're scared. Because once you shift your mindset, everything else starts to move with it. One, believe as if the future already belongs to you. There is a force far more powerful than talent or education. It is belief, and until you possess it, all your potential sleeps like a lion in chains. Belief is not a wish. It is not hope. It is the inner knowing that what you desire is already yours. When you believe with unwavering certainty, when your heart and your mind align in agreement with your future, you tap into the hidden engine of creation. Belief doesn't simply change what you do, it transforms who you are. It elevates your identity until the impossible bows before your conviction. Understand this truth. Most people float through life with weak intentions. They wish things would change. They hope for a breakthrough, but they do not believe. The Apostle Paul said in Romans 4:17 that faith calls those things which are not as though they were. That's not poetry. That's a law of the mind. The person who acts as if it already is will always outperform the one who waits for proof. Your belief must come before the evidence. The evidence does not build the belief. The belief commands the evidence to appear. Take possession of your mind. Dominate it. Train it. You must become the guardian of your thoughts, refusing to entertain doubt, fear, or hesitation. These are lies, smoke, shadows that dissolve the moment you shine the spotlight of belief on them. The world will offer you reasons to stop, to wait, to shrink, but you must reject them all. You must say, I do not negotiate with my destiny. For what is real is not what others see, it is what you decide to be real. John D. Rockefeller understood this. Born into obscurity, surrounded by scarcity, he believed from the earliest days that he was destined to build empires. He did not wait for others to crown him successful. He carried that crown in his posture, his voice, his actions, even as a young man earning meager wages. He was not pretending. He was proving a reality already established in his spirit, and the world eventually caught up. So must you. Your belief is the seed. Your daily actions are the water. Your persistence is the sunlight. Together they create a harvest that others will call miraculous, though you knew it all along. This is not fantasy. It is principle. It is the same law that has governed every man or woman of significance who rose from nothing to greatness. Nurture your belief. Feed it daily. Speak to it. Visualize it. Act on it. Protect it from the weeds of cynicism and the thorns of delay. Because when your belief becomes strong enough, nothing can stand against it. No circumstance. No setback. Belief makes you unstoppable. And one day, when the world stares in wonder at what you've become, you will smile, not in surprise, but in recognition. For you knew it long before they did, because you believed. To rewire your mind to expect victory. You cannot achieve greatness while expecting failure. That is not merely a statement. It is a spiritual law. No individual can rise higher than the thoughts he allows to dominate his mind. If you secretly expect to lose, you will. If you prepare for defeat in your heart, no strategy can rescue you. The mind, once conditioned to fear, to doubt, to see obstacles instead of opportunity, will sabotage every chance at breakthrough. And this sabotage is not loud. It is subtle. It appears in hesitation, in procrastination, in excuses. You will call it wisdom or realism, but it is fear in disguise. But here is the liberating truth. Just as the mind was trained to doubt, it can be trained to expect victory. It is not fixed. It is fertile. It grows what you plant. Proverbs 23:7 declares, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not poetry. This is law. Your mind is the factory of your fate. What you feed it will manifest as your experience. Feed it fear, you harvest failure. Feed it faith, and you will see possibilities stretch before you like a sunrise after a long night. So each morning, you must take possession of your mind before the world lays claim to it. Speak your vision aloud. Command your inner world before the outer world can impose its noise. See yourself already victorious, already walking through the doors you once thought were locked. Think in terms of abundance, not scarcity. Speak of potential, not limits. Expect good. Prepare for progress. Let no negative image occupy the canvas of your imagination, because whatever holds your focus shapes your future. Challenges will come. That is a guarantee, but you must rewire your perception. Challenges are not stop signs. They are stepping stones. They are not proof that you should turn back. They are tests to qualify you for the next level. Remember James J. Bratt? During the Great Depression, he went from being a broken dock worker to the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. But long before his fist found triumph, his mind found hope. He trained himself to believe in the comeback. He envisioned himself rising when the world expected him to stay down. And because he believed, he fought differently. He endured more. He walked into the ring already crowned in spirit. The moment you believe the tide can turn, life begins to align itself with that expectation. Circumstances shift. People appear. Opportunities emerge. Not because they weren't there before, but because now your eyes are trained to see them. The current of life begins to flow in your favor when your belief becomes stronger than your fear. And that is not luck. That is cause and effect. You must become the architect of your inner world. Construct a vision so strong, so clear, that no temporary defeat can shake it. Discipline your thoughts. Monitor them like a watchman at the gate. Refuse to let mediocrity or comparison take root. Every day is a battle for belief, and every time you expect better, you rise higher. Train your mind to expect elevation, and elevation will find you. This is the secret of the achievers, the victors, the giants of history. They mastered their internal climate even when the external weather screamed failure. They saw sunshine when the sky was gray. They acted rich when their pockets were empty. And because they believed differently, they lived differently. So I ask you, what do you expect? What do you see when you close your eyes? Do you see a future worth fighting for? Then begin to think like it, speak like it, walk like it. Refuse to entertain any version of reality that contradicts your vision, for your life will always follow the direction of your most dominant thoughts. Victory does not visit the doubter. It belongs to the one who expects it, plans for it, and refuses to settle until it is theirs. The current is waiting. Believe and watch it carry you to heights you once only dreamed of. 3. Act as if your goals are non-negotiable. The average man treats his goals like wishes, fragile ideas easily broken by delay, discomfort, or distraction. He says, I want, but he does not mean I will. He waits for ideal conditions, for signs, for validation. But you must be different. If you are to rise, if you are to lead a life of power and legacy, then your goals must become law, non-negotiable, unbreakable, final. You must treat your objective not as a dream, but as a command you have issued to yourself and to the universe, a command that cannot return void. You are not here to beg the world for favor. You are here to declare your outcome and back it with unshakable conviction. Success is not given to the man who hopes. It is earned by the one who decides. Your mind must be made up so completely, so finally, that even if storms arise or obstacles stand tall, you walk forward without blinking. Your decision must burn within you like a divine fire, unquenchable, untamed, unstoppable. This is the energy of creation. In Exodus 14:15, God did not tell Moses to wait for the sea to part. He commanded him to go forward. It was only after Moses moved that the waters split. So it is with your life. The path does not appear before your step. It appears because of your step. Most people wait to see the full staircase, but power belongs to the one who climbs with faith in his feet. Do not wait. Move. Even when the road looks like ocean. Madam C.J. Walker understood this. Born into poverty as a washerwoman's daughter, she could have accepted the script handed to her by society, but she did not. She rewrote her story. She did not treat her goal as a gamble. She treated it as a destiny. She acted quickly, built strong alliances, learned relentlessly, and moved with a sense of divine urgency. She didn't have time for excuses, for doubts, or for the opinions of lesser minds. Her belief became her armor. Her goal became her law. You must now do the same. Carry yourself not as someone hoping for transformation, but as someone already becoming the future you envision. Your walk must change. Your voice must deepen with certainty. Your eyes must reflect a soul that has decided. When you speak, the world should hear the echo of inevitability. When you move, the ground should sense purpose. This is how kings and queens are forged. Too many dreamers fail not because their goals are too high, but because their belief is too low. They negotiate with their goals. They allow feelings to interfere. But when a goal becomes a law, there are no off days. There are no back doors. There is only forward, only fire, only finish. Write your vision on the tablet of your heart. Burn it it into your habits, protect it with your time, water it with action, and watch how doors open that logic cannot explain. Watch how people appear, how opportunities arise, how favor flows, not because you are lucky, but because the universe obeys those who believe enough to move. Make your goal a law. Let it become your identity. And once it does, no force on earth can stop its fulfillment. 4. Surround yourself with belief builders, not doubt dealers. No man, regardless of talent or potential, is strong enough to believe in himself while drowning in the voices of doubt. You may possess a vision so pure, so powerful, that it can ignite mountains, but if you place it in a toxic atmosphere, it will wither before it ever begins to burn. Your environment is not neutral. It is either lifting you or lowering you. It is either feeding your belief or bleeding it. That is why you must guard it as fiercely as a king guards his throne. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, and every word you hear, every opinion you entertain, every person you associate with enters your mental fortress either as a builder or a breaker. In 1 Corinthians 15:33, the scripture warns us plainly, bad company corrupts good character. This is not merely a moral warning, it is a strategic one. For just as wrong company can erode your belief, right company can multiply it. The words you absorb today will echo as actions tomorrow. Your belief does not exist in a vacuum. It is shaped by the conversations you have, the energy you absorb, the standards of those around you. This is why you must deliberately choose your tribe. Surround yourself with visionaries. People who speak to your purpose, not your past. People who fan your flame, not smother it. If those in your proximity do not challenge your doubts and call out your greatness, they are not allies. They are liabilities. Booker T. Washington, born into slavery and limitation, rose to become a national leader in education and upliftment. How? Not by wishful thinking, not by raw talent alone. He surrounded himself with mentors, educators, and allies who reflected back to him the future he envisioned. His success was not a solo journey, it was a strategic environment. He built a circle that demanded growth, that reinforced belief, and that gave him no room to shrink. You must do the same. Audit your environment ruthlessly. If someone consistently plants seeds of fear, doubt, or limitation in your soil, they are poisoning your garden. Remove them with love, but with finality. Then replace them with those who speak in the language of elevation. Find those who think bigger, who act boldly, who see the unseen with faith and move like destiny is their birthright. Iron sharpens iron, and your belief will never grow to its fullest strength in isolation. You need shared vision. You need voices that echo your conviction. You need people who say, let's go higher, when your mind whispers, maybe we should stop. Because belief is not only an internal fire, it is a collective flame. It becomes stronger when others breathe life into it. Plant yourself in rich soil, in communities of courage, in rooms where your dreams feel small, not because they are, but because those around you dream even bigger. Your tribe is your multiplier. Their presence becomes your momentum. Their words become your armor. Their standards become your expectation. And once you are firmly rooted in the right environment, belief becomes natural. It no longer has to be forced. It becomes your default setting. And from that place, there is no mountain too high, no goal too bold. Because now your belief is not just your own, it has become ours. And collective belief moves faster than any obstacle in its way. 5. Rewrite your past by reinterpreting it. Your story is not what happened to you. It is how you tell what happened to you. Every event, every heartbreak, every closed door is not your identity. It is raw material, and like any raw material, its power lies not in what it is, but in what you make of it. Most people wear their pain like a prison sentence. They rehearse it, replay it, relive it, until it defines them. But champions, builders, and visionaries do something different. They take their wounds and forge them into wisdom. They stop asking, why me, and begin asking, what now? You must understand this truth. Your past is not a verdict. It is a classroom. Every failure you endured, every betrayal you survived, every delay you hated, was not there to destroy you. It was there to develop you. In Genesis 50:20, Joseph tells the very brothers who sold him into slavery, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. That is not denial. That is dominion. It is the power to reinterpret your scars, to pull gold from the ashes. Pain is not the enemy. It is the sculptor of your purpose. Stop rehearsing your pain. Start harvesting the purpose that was hidden in it. If you only only see what you lost, you will miss what you gained. Strength, discernment, patience, clarity. These are the treasures forged in the fire. Your story gains power when you stop narrating it with pity and start narrating it with perspective. You were not buried, you were planted. Now rise. Ray Kroc is a testimony to this principle. Before building McDonald's into a global empire, he spent decades selling milkshake machines. Most would call that a failure, but not him. Every failed business deal, every delayed breakthrough became the training ground for his final assignment. He didn't curse his past, he used it. And because of that, when his moment came, he was ready. Your setbacks do not disqualify you. They qualify you if you choose to read them rightly. The past is not a chain, it is a blueprint, and it is waiting for you to reread it with new eyes. Reinterpret what happened. Reclaim its value. If you see every hardship as punishment, you will never rise. But if you see it as preparation, you will step into your future with power. You are not the product of what happened to you. You are the architect of what comes next. Carry your history not as a wound, but as a weapon. Let your scars speak not of defeat, but of endurance. Let your history be a platform, not a prison. The greatest leaders in history did not rise because they were untouched by pain. They rose because they redeemed their pain. They gave new language to old events. They wrote new meaning over old memories. You must now do the same. Begin to bless your past. Speak life over it. Say, that taught me, that trained me, that was necessary. Because when you bless your past, your future opens with grace. The gates swing wide. The atmosphere shifts. And you begin to move, not with regret but with revelation. Your story is a sword. Wield it. Let your testimony be a declaration that pain was never the end. It was only the beginning of your power. Use challenges to sculpt your belief. Your belief is like a muscle. It does not grow in comfort, but under pressure. Without resistance, your faith remains flabby, soft, and untested. It may sound good in speech, but it has no strength in battle. Just as muscles tear before they rebuild stronger, your belief must be tested before it becomes unshakable. And this is not punishment. It is preparation. James 1:2 tells us plainly, "Count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance." Trials are not barriers to destiny. They are bridges to it. We must stop viewing challenge as something to avoid. It is the gymnasium of the soul. Every hardship, every delay, every disappointment is a weight that when lifted builds inner might. Challenge is your sculptor. Let it carve away your doubts. Let it chisel your excuses. Let it define your edges and reveal your essence. The very pressure you resist is the pressure designed to reveal your power. When the world pushes you back, push harder. When your plans collapse, build smarter. The test of belief is not in how loudly you declare it when things are easy, but in how firmly you stand when everything shakes. Faith that only functions in fair weather is not faith. It is fantasy. But belief that stands its ground in the storm becomes invincible. George Washington Carver, born into slavery, orphaned, and denied access to most opportunities, he had every reason to fold. But he did not fold. He focused. He studied the peanut, a simple, overlooked crop, and extracted over 300 inventions from it. Paints, oils, plastics, medicines. Where others saw limitation, he saw innovation. He turned resistance into revelation. His adversity became his advantage. That is how you must begin to view every setback. Not as evidence of failure, but as opportunity in disguise. When pressure comes, let it press you into purpose. When delays appear, let them deepen your discipline. When opposition rises, let it refine your strategy. Each trial becomes your trainer. Each hardship becomes your hammer. And you become forged like steel. Your belief does not become unstoppable because it avoids fire. It becomes unstoppable because it walks through fire and emerges forged. The ones who achieve greatness are not those with easy paths, but those who learned how to turn pressure into progress. They don't just survive, they transform. So the next time you face a wall, don't retreat. Let that obstacle become your exercise. Let resistance become your routine. You are not losing time when you face difficulty. You are building the very traits required for your destiny. Every great structure requires deep foundations, and foundations are built built through force. Let every trial remind you of who you are becoming. Let every hardship remind you that belief is not passive. It is active. It is gritty. It is determined. You are not meant to be crushed by life. You are meant to conquer it, but only if you embrace the pressure that molds you. Let every setback become your setup for comeback. Let every valley become your proving ground. And when it is over, let the world see a version of you that could only have been built in the fire, because belief, when tested, becomes truth, and truth, once embodied, becomes power. Practice speaking with the tongue of belief. Your words are not just sounds that pass into the air, they are seeds that shape your reality. Every sentence you speak carries creative power. You are either watering your belief or poisoning it. Every time you open your mouth, you are building the house you will one day live in. This is not exaggeration, it is law. Proverbs 18:21 declares, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Words don't just describe your life, they design it. Most people speak casually, carelessly. They complain, they self-criticize, they verbalize defeat, and then they wonder why their life mirrors their fear more than their faith. But your speech is a mirror of your mind. What you consistently say reveals what you consistently believe, and what you believe becomes the blueprint of your behavior. So ask yourself, what are you saying? When you speak of your future, do you speak with boldness or with dread? When you describe yourself, do you use the language of strength or self-sabotage? You cannot expect to build a palace with the vocabulary of a prisoner. Your words must match the level of your vision. Speak up, not down. Speak forward, not backward. Clara Barton understood this. Rejected, overlooked, and called unqualified by those in power, she refused to let the world write her identity. She wrote her own. She called herself capable, needed, and prepared long before others recognized it. She used her words as armor, as a weapon, as a foundation, and eventually the world caught up to the reality she had already declared. You must do the same. Begin to speak life into your vision. Say aloud, I am chosen, I am prepared, I am rising. Let these words become your rhythm, your daily declaration. Let them echo in the chambers of your mind until your actions align with your speech, because words do not return empty. They create what they were sent to build. Speak with precision. Speak with purpose. Don't speak based on how things look. Speak based on how you are determined they will be. Say what you want until you see what you say. This is not delusion. It is discipline. It is the ancient art of calling things forth with faith. Just as Romans 4:17 says, God who gives life to the dead and calls those things which do not exist as though they did. This is how belief is reinforced, not just by silent thoughts, but by spoken truth. When you say, I am capable, you are not lying. You are training. When you say, I am qualified, you are not pretending. You are aligning. Words shape identity, and identity shapes destiny. Reject the language of limitation. Cut off the vocabulary of defeat. Remove phrases like, I can't, I never, I'm not good at. Replace them with I am learning, I am becoming, I am made for this. Speak as though the heavens are listening, because they are. Speak as though your words matter, because they do. You are not powerless. You are not waiting on the world to give you permission. Your tongue is the pen of your prophecy. What you declare consistently becomes what you experience eventually. So, let today mark a shift, from casual speech to creative command, from small talk to spiritual strategy, from reaction to declaration. Because once your words rise, your world cannot stay the same. Speak life, speak strength, speak victory, and keep speaking it until what you say becomes what you see. Set your vision in stone, but your path in sand. There is a difference between the goal and the method. The goal is your North Star. It must be fixed, clear, and unshakable. But the method, the path you take to reach it, must be as flexible as water. Too many people confuse the two. When one plan fails, they abandon the dream. When one door closes, they assume the vision was wrong. But destiny is not a straight line. It is a winding road, and your ability to adapt determines how far you travel. The Israelites had a promised land. That destination was never in question. But the journey, it was filled with deserts, delays, battles, and turns they never expected. They wandered, they adjusted, they grew, and yet the promise never changed. The lesson is this: your method may need to change 100 times, but your goal should remain untouched. If one route closes, find another. If one door locks, knock on the next. If the map tears, draw a new one, but never lose sight of the treasure. Andrew Carnegie is a living testimony to this principle. He did not begin as a titan of industry. He began as a bobbin boy, earning a few dollars a week in a cotton factory, but he didn't let that starting point define his ending. He climbed, he pivoted, he educated himself. He formed strategic alliances. When one opportunity dried up, he found another. He did not treat blocked paths as dead ends. He saw them as invitations to invent a new route. His goal was greatness. His method, constantly evolving. You too must learn to bend without breaking. A tree that refuses to sway in the storm will snap, but a tree that leans with the wind remains rooted. So it is with your purpose. Rigidity in vision is strength. Rigidity in process is folly. The world is constantly shifting. You must shift with it. What worked yesterday may not work today. What was once a strength may now be obsolete. Wisdom is the ability to discern the difference. Never confuse a detour with a dead end. Just because life takes you in a circle doesn't mean you're lost. Sometimes the long way becomes the right way. What matters is not how straight your path is, but how steady your spirit remains. Keep your eye on the mountaintop, even if the trail disappears beneath your feet. Vision will carry you when visibility is gone. Build your plans with determination, but walk with humility. Be prepared to abandon methods, not missions. Be quick to shift tactics, not targets. And above all, be rooted in the why, even as you modify the how. This is the strategy of champions. Clarity of purpose, flexibility of approach. Flexibility is not weakness. It is wisdom with vision. It is strength that knows how to move. The most dangerous thing you can do is cling to a broken plan out of pride. Adjust, rethink, rebuild, not because your goal has failed, but because you are wise enough to evolve with the terrain. So as you pursue your purpose, remember this: the method is the servant, not the master. Let your dream stand like a mountain. Let your method flow like a river. And no matter how often the path twists, never question the destination. Stay fixed in your goal. Stay fluid in your method, and you will arrive stronger, wiser, and exactly where you were always meant to be. 9. Take full ownership of your power to choose. Everything in your life begins with a decision, not a condition, a decision. Far too many wait for the perfect time, the right mood, or the ideal circumstances to act. But life does not reward hesitation. It rewards clarity. It rewards boldness. Deuteronomy 30:19 issues a divine command. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. This is not a suggestion. It is a call to power, because choice is the steering wheel of destiny. Where your life goes next is not up to luck. It is up to what you decide now. People do not fail because they lack talent. Most fail because they never truly decided to win. They hovered, they postponed, they gave themselves too many options. And indecision, though it feels safe, is the slowest form of self-destruction. Every dream you delay becomes a seed that never grows. Every excuse you entertain becomes a wall that blocks your future. But the moment you choose, truly choose, everything changes. Your moment of decision is your moment of power. That's when the tides begin to turn. That's when momentum ignites. That's when the universe, circumstances, and people start responding to your internal authority. It is not your resources that make the difference. It is your resolve. The world honors the man or woman who moves with conviction. Harriet Tubman is one of history's clearest examples. She was born into slavery, a condition so brutal it could have paralyzed her spirit. But she chose freedom. And then, with even greater courage, she chose to return again and again to rescue others. She did not wait for permission. She did not wait for laws to change. She moved in spite of the danger. Her decision gave her divine momentum. What she chose became the seed of liberation for generations. You must now do the same. Choose your standard. What will you no longer tolerate? What level of excellence will you now demand of yourself? Choose your direction. Where are you truly going, and what is worth giving your life to? Choose to cut off every excuse, every lie that tells you it's not the right time. Let today be the day you stop waiting and start becoming. When you decide, the world adjusts. Resources that were hidden begin to surface. Opportunities that were locked start to open. Not because the world changed, but because your posture did. You are no longer passive. You are no longer rehearsing what could go wrong. You are acting from a place of certainty, and that certainty carries weight. Understand this. Indecision is the thief of destiny. It steals your momentum. It erodes your confidence. It keeps you walking in circles when you were called to take territory. But decision creates alignment, and alignment creates acceleration. The moment you choose with finality, your energy, habits, relationships, and environment begin to reconfigure around your new direction. Make the choice today, not tomorrow, not when things feel perfect. Now, decide who you are. Decide what you stand for. Decide what you are building, and then act like it. Speak like it. Walk like it. The greatest lives are not born from chance. They are carved from decision. Greatness begins the moment you say, no more waiting. I choose now. That single act of decision holds more power than a lifetime of wishful thinking. Because once you decide, the rest of your life begins to follow suit. So choose. Choose with courage. Choose with fire. Choose life. And never look back. 10. Believe that you are meant to rise. You were not born to crawl. You were born to rise. Within you is more than breath and bones. There is a divine assignment, a call that echoes through every season of your life, waiting for you to answer it. Jeremiah 29:11 proclaims, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." These are not casual words. They are heaven's declaration over your life. You are not a mistake. You are not a product of random events. You are a vessel of purpose, designed with intention and released into this world with significance. The world may have dismissed you. Circumstances may have tried to confine you, but destiny knows your name. Heaven has kept the records, and your time is not coming. Your time is now. Walk like someone who carries destiny in their bones. Let your posture declare that you are here on assignment. Speak like someone who has something sacred to say. Your words should carry the weight of vision, not the fear of rejection. Act like someone whose moment has come, because it has. Helen Keller, though born without sight and sound, refused to accept limitation. She could have stayed hidden in silence, but instead she became a voice for millions. She did not wait for the world to offer her a platform. She created one. She believed her life held meaning, and she fought to express that meaning against every odd. And because she believed, others began to believe too. So must you. Your life is not small. Your vision is not invalid. You do not need anyone's permission to rise. What lives inside of you is sacred. You must protect it, nurture it, release it. Your journey, with all its detours and delays, has prepared you for this moment. Nothing has been wasted. You must believe this. Your time is now, not tomorrow. Not when you feel more qualified. Now, when you step forward with fire in your spirit and certainty in your heart, you activate forces seen and unseen. You send a signal to the world that you remember who you are, that you were not born to crawl in fear or live in shadow. You were born to rise, and rise you shall.